time for another adventure. Alrighty, Travel Dons, welcome back to the Adventures of a Traveling Don and our continuing series here in the Balkans. And today we are going to be leaving, sadly, the beautiful seaside town of Kotor, Montenegro. However, we'll be exchanging that for a potentially even more beautiful seaside town, Dubrovnik, Croatia. So we're heading up to the bus station to get on the bus and head to Dubrovnik. Okay, so a quick thing if you're leaving Kotor by bus. There are a couple things you're going to want to know. First and foremost, you can come and get your ticket here at the bus station. I would recommend doing that. Maybe if you want to come to the bus station like the day before or two days before when you know when you're leaving, you can get your ticket online. However, it's a little different compared to any other place I've ever been to. I got my ticket online and it says on there, even in the email I got, this ticket has to be printed. And I figured when I got here, they could just print me a ticket, because a lot of times that has happened where I've had to still check in even though I had an online ticket, and they gave me like a receipt or maybe like a paper ticket to give to the bus driver. This one says you personally have to print, and unless you're staying at a place that has a printer, say like a hotel or something, or going to like a library, they do not print it here for you. If you run into the scenario where you are not able to print it in any way, there is a room right next to the ticket office called VIP Taxi. The lady was kind enough, I just sent her an email with forwarded all the email stuff. She went and printed the ticket and the boarding stuff. So yeah, there was a little bit of I was starting to freak out for a second. I was like, I got 10 minutes and I need to either figure out how to print or I need to buy a whole new ticket, which would have sucked. By the way, the ticket cost is about, I think it was about 25 euros. And then of course they you still do have to check in. They had a 2 euro fee for whatever this is. And then it's also a euro 50 fee for your baggage. So 27 plus 350, so it's a little over 30 euros in total to get to Dubrovnik. Always keep small change on you when you're in this part, particularly for baggage and stuff. The one thing I will say about the bus ride from Kotor to Dubrovnik, or vice versa, it is probably one of the most beautiful bus rides I've personally done as of, as of my life so far. Just because you just have this Bay of Kotor here on the Montenegro side, and eventually you'll see the coastline as we get towards Dubrovnik, which will also be beautiful. But it is, I think this is the second time I've taken this bus. The first time was coming from Dubrovnik. This time we'll be going to Dubrovnik, and it's just one of the most gorgeous bus rides you'll ever have. Have officially made it into Croatia. So from here on, it's maybe about another hour into Dubrovnik, so it's not too far from the border. It's actually not a long drive in general. It just takes some time when you're at the border. Getting out of Montenegro doesn't take you that long, but getting in through Croatia, they have to stop, they'll check the bus, they'll check your bags. That was probably about a half-hour process getting into Croatia. Plus we were waiting in line, so actually it's a little bit longer. But anyway, onwards to Dubrovnik. All right, so we have officially checked into our apartment, and it is a loft 1 bedroom. Nicely spacious for a single person, maybe for a couple as well. This is only about, I think, like $35, $40 a night during the off season that I'm here with, so not too bad of a price. And we'll go straight first into the bathroom. Not too much room, but you pretty much have everything that you need. And of course, this is the foyer / living room. Does come with, of course, the small little kitchenette area. Everything that you need there. Then, of course, you have the bedroom. Nice soft bed for you there. And what's kind of cool is this area that they're at is also like, it's all kind of like a walled off set of apartments that have this nice garden in the back, which is really kind of cool. And apparently there is a path that we were coming down earlier that goes all the way up, gives you a really good viewpoint. We'll go there in just a little bit. Gives you a good viewpoint of Old Town and the fortress. So we're gonna go ahead and check that out in just a little bit and then head into Old Town. But it's actually really kind of cool. Like, I just like the setup of it. And what's awesome, the lady who is the host actually she left me this little bottle, you know, about a third of the way full of a liqueur. So let's go ahead and pour ourselves a little drink here real quick. A welcome drink to Dubrovnik. Just a little bit. So we still got a lot to do. So, Jubilee. Ooh, smells sweet. And tastes sweet. It's very much kind of like a light licorice flavor, but very good. So I definitely appreciate that. But anyway, this is the apartment for the next 3 days for me. Oh, smell that sea breeze of the Adriatic. Look at it and wonder. It's actually kind of cool, the fact that I could literally walk down the alley from where I'm staying back into the woods and then just come down here. Like, if this was summertime and I had brought my swim trunks, I would be diving into the water from there. Like, this is absolutely fantastic. I think I haven't been to this one. All along the coastline, as you see going that way, there will be off branches within parks and stuff where you kind of come down to the water, and some of them even have kind of like pop-up clubs and things like that, that I think during the summertime particularly, people will bring like their own bars and whatnot. So it's kind of a really kind of more summer cool spot. But when you're here during the off season, you just kind of get to feel it by yourself. There's no one down here with me right now. And it's just, this is kind of like a great place to sit and relax, kind of just listen to the waves, listen to the wind brush by you. And it's just, absolutely gorgeous. This is my second time in Dubrovnik, and I love it. I haven't even gotten back to Old Town, but I just love this coastline. It's absolutely epic. So one place that I highly recommend, and a major point, particularly when it comes to vistas and views, which you can find them a dime a dozen here in Dubrovnik, but one of the better places is here at the Park Grauch. And this is right across from the fortress here and, of course, Old Town Dubrovnik. And it gives you great pictures and great views. And it's kind of like, it's actually become a relatively popular place, mainly for the views and pictures that you can get here. But it is kind of cool because it is not necessarily a stone's throw from Old Town, but you can see the gates from here, and you just get some beautiful vistas. You have, of course, the other islands in the background there for you, and it's just a fantastic. And of course, this is the beginning of the park that we have literally just been walking through, and this park goes all the way down the coast. Just for miles. Like, when last time I was here, I took some time, and I took probably about 4 or 5 hours, and I just walked north until I stopped and turned around, and I got probably a good 5 miles out of town. And you could just continue walking along the coastline. Certain times you have to dip back into town, but Yeah, it's real, like, there's so much to do here in Dubrovnik, and this park is definitely a major point when it comes to getting those pictures, particularly for the gram. While I would say that Dubrovnik is definitely a summer town, like I've mentioned it before, however, there are some aspects of it that, particularly when you come here right around the New Year or a week after the New Year, they're doing the Winterfest. Obviously, you know, it's kind of like their version of a Christmas market to an extent. It's not overly big. However, they have stalls all over the place, particularly in Old Town and just outside the gates, where you will find like great little food stalls. So we're going ahead and stopped at a nice little sausage spot right here, right off of the water, near the Citadel walls. So it's actually kind of cool. So you just gotta like sit here, great views. If you want, take it to go, sit over by the railing and try it out. So the one that they have here is a spicy sausage. They kind of warm that up in the a little bit of water and the sausage fat itself. So we'll give it a little try. I like the snapping of the case. And puts a little mustard on there for you. That's really good. Yeah, it's all standard street food. And that was what, I think like €4. So good way to eat cheap. So we've officially made it into the walls of Old Town Dubrovnik, and I love this place. While Kotor is very, very much similar when it comes to, it is an old medieval style town, Kotor though is much smaller. It's a fraction the size of Old Town Dubrovnik, and the walls, the streets, everything's a little bit brighter. It's kind of like a lighter color, whereas in Kotor is a little bit more gray. The backdrop here is of course the sea. It's just absolutely phenomenal. We'll delve more into the history of it, but just to kind of give you a quick rundown, I believe the foundation of this area was about the 7th century AD, and that was, I believe it was called Ragusa back then. And it was part of the Venice Republic as well as the Byzantine Empire for a short time, and then for about 5 centuries, from the 14th to the 19th century, it was its own independent republic and kind of a rival to Venice. So it's really kind of cool. We'll go ahead and explore more of the Winterfest stuff today and kind of go around just to kind of give you a brief layout. The next video will delve much deeper into that, the history, and of course all the Game of Thrones scenes, because this is the home of King's Landing. Of course, after the sausage, you always got to get a little bit of a sweet for the afternoon, and we got basically what they call here prikla, basically little fried donuts with a little dark chocolate kind of drizzled on top. Watch as I make a mess out of myself. Oh, they are good. They are very fluffy. Those are really, really nice. Delicious. Now that the belly is a little full and we're all happy for a little bit, we've come out to basically the Old Town docks, which is called the Porella, and it's kind of cool because you can come out through kind of like the main road that runs through Old Town, and you can just kind of like circumvent the entire dock area, and eventually it actually goes out and around, and we'll go around to like outside the walls. So it's actually kind of, I don't remember actually doing this last time I was here. I remember being like dipping out on certain areas. I remember being out on the docks over there. I don't remember actually coming all the way around, and then we'll be going out over there. So This will be new for me as well as new for you guys if you haven't been here. Also, the Porella is where you'll come and get a lot of like your tours, like boat tours that'll take you panoramic tours around the island, diving tours, stuff like that. Usually they all take off from these docks, so just something to keep in mind. But it does give you some great views from this side of the city, and of course the entire docks and the mountains in the back. It's just phenomenal. Boy, this seaside of the Porella and outside the walls, at least right now during winter, is a little rough. It was actually, there's a couple parts where I almost got splashed pretty hard on the route back there. So definitely watch yourself and be careful if you're gonna come all the way around. But I can see during the summertime, this place being really popular because there's like steps that go down into the water at multiple points. They even have like a couple little shower heads over there where you can take a shower to kind of wash off the seawater. But this is just, it's so epic. You get some great shots, particularly when the water is just rushing in. But yeah, this is awesome. Man, walking these streets really brings me back 5 years, at least as I'm filming this. So, I had such a great time here in Dubrovnik. You just kind of get lost in these little back alleys. They're not as close and tight-knit as Kotor can be, but even still, as you can see, still pretty thin streets. And you do deal with a lot more stairs because either side, both east and western side, as you get away from the main strip, it starts to go up and up and up. Now, one thing you want to do when you come to Dubrovnik is go to the western wall. This place here called Buza Bar. Let me show you. So definitely one of the gems of Dubrovnik, Croatia, particularly Old Town, is this place here called the Buza Bar. And it's at the end, the west end, just outside the western walls. And it's a great spot. I know during the summertime, from what I've seen, it is popping just like every other place along the coastline. People get into the, I think they get into the water from here. It's a great place to come and watch the sunset while having a drink. Right now, of course, during the winter, as I'm here, it's a, you know, it's a little windy, it's a little cool. There's not much product. They only had really beer, sodas, and then they did have some of the house roast. So try a little bit of that. Oh. Ooh. Rocky, it just goes down hard. But anyway, one of the beers that they do have here in, I believe this is Croatian, I believe so, is Ujusko. If it's not, just let me know in the comments, anybody from the Balkans. But anyway, cheers to you guys. Light beer, skunky, not too bad taste-wise. But really the gem of it is, of course, the views. And just sitting here out on the rocks, just outside the wall, can't get any better. So that is going to be the end of the travel day video to Dubrovnik. The next video, stay tuned for that. That will be the full kind of like Old Town Dubrovnik tour. We'll get up on the walls. We'll just kind of like go into the history of the town, and then of course visit a lot of the Game of Thrones King's Landing filming locations. So I think I've mapped most of them down, and I remember running into several of them about 5 years ago. So we'll get into all of that in the next video. But I hope you guys enjoy this travel day to Dubrovnik. I think I've got, 4 more places after Dubrovnik that we're going to go, and then that will be the end of the trip. So we're getting towards the end of this whole Balkans and Greece trip, and it's been awesome so far. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this particular video. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave those down in the comments. And of course, if you like the video, give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, if you want to help support the travels, I do have a Patreon page and a Buy Me a Coffee account. I do appreciate the support very, very much. And until we meet again, guys, peace out and have a great night.